So, hello folks, hello friends, welcome to Radio Salado. We are so thrilled about just all the excitement and community and tall tale and troubadours that are coming alongside us here as we launch Radio Salado in Salado, Texas. Here at the historic Stagecoach Inn, along these gorgeous creek banks that we so treasure and love. Today we have Chuck Harris, an old pal of mine who happens to be one of the most beloved sort of, I would say, just prismatic artist that I know. I met him, he just corrected me, I thought it was about 20 years ago, but about 15 years ago, my sweet daughter and I, Harper, we met him just behind the Texas Chili Parlor at the Scottish Rite Children's Theater. He was in a production of Pippi Longstocking, and my daughter at the time and all of the children in that amazing theater could not get enough of that production. It was so beautiful and so sweet, and the actors in that production just took such time and care to spend time with all of those kids afterwards, and that's kind of where our story began. Chuck is a Texas troubadour, a songwriter, playwright. I'm going to try to get all this in one nugget. I won't. There's no way I will. UIL one-act play judge and educator whose work reminds us that stories and songs have the power to outlive us all. Today he joins us to share original music, wisdom, and a whole lot of Texas heart. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So how was your drive up to Salado this morning?
Wasn't too bad. I stayed in Austin last night, so I put the corgi in the taxi and off I came. Probably about 9 o'clock, so wasn't too bad.
And you brought your guitar with you today?
I brought my guitar with me today. Well, this is one of, I have quite a few guitars. I have more guitars than I need, probably. So, but the answer to...
Is that possible to have more guitars?
You know, the question is how many guitars is enough, and the answer is always just one more. You know, so... yeah,
just one more.
Just one more. You just need one more. And the funny thing is you probably can't even play them all, but I have a bunch of guitars, yes. So.
Well, you know, there's so many sort of journeys and trajectories I feel like we could begin this conversation on, but I kind of wanted to start with maybe a little bit of one of your songs, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
And then we can go into questions, and maybe we'll have time for a bit more music.
Sure,
here
maybe.
Toward the end. So,
if we're not offended by me singing about Dan Patrick at some point.
All right.
This one's
without further ado.
This is one I wrote. I've been going to the song circle at Cheatham Street for a while on Wednesday nights. Kent Finley.
College days for me.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, a lot of famous songwriters. Todd Snyder came out of there. William Clark Green. You know, obviously George Strait. Obviously,
he's much younger, but I saw William Beckman there for the first time.
Randy Rogers, you know those guys. Randy Rogers actually owns the Cheatham Street.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he does. So.
Hats off to him. Makes me love him even more.
Yeah, well, he and of course he covered Hill Country. You know, that's the song we at the end of the night we all circle up and sing. They call it the Hill Country. I call it Beautiful. You know, they want to tear the top of it off. You know, and all this other stuff. So, so this is a song I was. So the song circle is sponsored by Schreiner. They have a sign at the back that says this, and so I was thinking about back to when I was in high school. I had never drank. But my friend Mike and I went to his his lake house down on Amistad. Their family had a lake house. It was a trailer basically, but we go and we water ski all day, and then we go to Acuna. And so this song kind of came out of that idea. So we'll see. It's called Shiner In, Shiner Out. Very first beer, a Shiner Bock, Lake Amistad, down by the boat dock. Water ski all day, Acuna at night. We were young and restless, and smart enough to get right. Those days seem so far away. I remember them like yesterday. Doesn't seem too long ago, drinking beer on a back road. Now it seems like time has slowed. Doing things that felt real good, not even knowing if I should. I look back so fondly at the past. Shiner was the first, and will probably be the last. Riding around in Tracy's T-Bird, summer after graduation, singing along to all the Prince songs, hiding Shiner in the fridge in her garage. We were singing, are we gonna let the elevator bring us down? Doesn't seem too long ago, drinking beer on a back road. Now it seems like time has slowed. Doing things that felt real good, not even knowing if I should. I look back so fondly at the past. Shiner was the first, and will probably be the last. One day they are gonna cart me out feet first. But before they do, I'm telling you, a shiner will quench my thirst. Doesn't seem too long ago, drinking beer on a back road. Now it seems like time has slowed. Doing things that felt real good, not even knowing if I should. I look back so fondly at the past. Oh, a shiner was the first, and will probably be the last. Yeah, a shiner was the first, and will probably be the last.
Bravo! Did we just get to hear the first live performance of that song?
No, it was the second live performance. I sang that on my recital for I sang it on my recital for my composition recital back in the spring. But yeah,
And at Texas State.
at Texas State, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was actually a better performance of it than I missed a bunch of chords in the in the real performance. So
You nailed it from my seat.
oh, thanks.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
You're hired.
There we go.
We need you. I need that on my playlist for sure.
That's fun.
Wow. Do you want to get a sip of water before we launch
No,
into
I'm
a
good. Let's
bazillion
keep going. Let's
questions
keep
here?
going. Now we're good. We're
Woo.
good.
That was amazing. I just want to sit here and listen to him play all day. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, from the theater to songwriting,
Right.
to I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, just your avid love of storytelling.
Sure.
Is there a moment that you can recall where you realized that storytelling wasn't just something you loved, but something that you were called to do?
Yeah, I mean, like I think we did there was a UIL event in like fourth grade called storytelling, and you were given like an idea and you were supposed to tell the story back like in your own words, and so I've always been like inventive, creative.
I'd totally forgotten about that facet of UIL. I did it in fifth grade, and somewhere.
Well, and I in fourth grade they actually thought that I should do oral reading rather than storytelling because I just was better at that. So like just crafting characters, crafting things like that. I've tried my hand at playwriting, and I have a few plays that I've written, but when I look at them, I'm like, my friends are like, I don't care about these characters very much. So I'm like, so my storytelling ends up being more song driven. I've got an idea for a musical that I'm writing, but I don't know if it'll ever come out or not, but it's based on a movie. And so we'll see. I
vote yes.
Well, my problem is that those lyrics right there took me a long time to write. Like
sure,
I'm not a lyricist. I'm more of a musician than anything else. I can take other people's lyrics and do all kinds of cool things with them. So I'm looking for like a librettist to help me with my musical. But the script is pretty much, the script is the libretto for this movie. And so anyway, it's a Texas movie, and I'm just like, I've always loved it. And so I don't know if I ever get the rights to it or anything, but I've got it all sketched out. It's all sketched out in 2 acts and ready to go. There's no love story. It's just it's 4 friends that grew up together.
That's a love story.
It is a love story, you know. But I'm like, there's no love interest. There's no girl.
Right,
There's no romantic. Yeah, I mean, there is a girlfriend in it, but there's not in the movie. There's no romance between the two people. There's not like.
I mean, I think of Stand By Me.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. The movie's called, I don't know if you've ever seen. It's called Dancer Texas Population 81.
I have seen fragments of it. It's so interesting that you bring that up.
It's beautiful. The opening scene. Well, I grew up in West Texas, so there's nothing out there. You know, that song that I wrote is literally drinking beer on a back road. That's what I grew up with, and so I grew up in small towns all over, but mostly West Texas. I mean, we're Panhandle people. I was born in Panhandle. My mom and dad were the first people of their families to leave their hometowns.
There's a song right there, Panhandle people.
Yeah. No, well, actually, the song that I did write for the recital is called Tumbleweed. And so, I didn't put it on my iPad. It's just printed out because what I did was I composed it on the spot. I had the lyrics, but the lyric of that is born between New Mexico and a feedlot. My family moved around a lot, you know. So my dad was the music man. My mom was a librarian, but his name's not Harold Hill and hers is not Marion. So that's, you know, that kind of that vibe there.
Didn't you just say a few seconds ago that you weren't that great?
Well, I mean, like I can, but the problem with me, so here's what you don't understand me. I hate cliches. I despise them, and my writing always tends to go there, and I don't want to be that. Like I don't want to rhyme the word day. I want to try to be creative in what I'm doing. So the storytelling, I can tell the story, but I want to tell it in a way that's not like, you know, like I wrote a song called Greg Abbott Pooped on the Constitution for Basic Legible Words. And basically it's a story of my father telling me, my dad and I, when I was 15 years old, were driving to Abilene. And he said, son, you're privileged to live in this state. And I said, well, tell me about it, Dad. And he goes, well, you know, the state legislature is in charge of educating, medicating, and incarcerating. Those are their three jobs. And I said, and so they've basically now waltzed on all three of those things, you know, and so basically I just wrote a song about anything that comes out of Greg Abbott's mouth is a lie. And, you know, so I've been writing like political songs. I wrote a song about Danny Goeb, you know, our illustrious lieutenant governor. I wrote a song about Greg Abbott. I've yet to write the Ken Paxton song because I don't want it to be about his visage. I want it to be about his corruption. But anyway, so we're trying to figure that out. But yeah, I've decided that the songs I'm going to write are either going to be protests. They're going to be like, obviously my guitar says "This Machine Kills Fascists." In the vein of Woody Guthrie, probably one of my favorite artists of all time.
Well, one of the things that we were talking about earlier this morning was our love of biopics, certain biopics.
Yeah.
And we mentioned the Bob Dylan biopic.
Yeah.
And you know, I really think that one of the things that I'm seeing in terms of the evolution of art across, we'll say, American culture, cinematography and just cinematic arts, and how those and the dance between the cinema arts and songwriting and legendary song heroes has really begun to meld. I mean, more and more, I think, in the last 20 years.
Sure. I mean, you know,
maybe we're going to get a Willie story, but I don't know how you would even begin to encapsulate all that he's brought to Texas culture.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's going to have to pass before that happens.
Sure.
I don't think anybody can.
I mean, that's never going to happen. But
right, he's going to live forever.
He has to.
He and Dolly have to live forever. But you know, there's not a Dolly biopic. There needs to be. And the thing about it is, though, is that, like, for me, Willie doesn't need that. He's so prolific. Like, he just released another record. Like,
I know, and it's amazing. It's amazing. If you've not caught that, friends, please do.
87th studio recording.
Oh my gosh.
He's 93 and he's released 87 records. That means he's done more than several in a year at times. And I've listened to his. I mean, he's probably released 5 records in the last 3 years, and they're all great. I mean, like, his songwriting has not ever dropped off. He live performance. I mean, he's not the Willie he was. I mean, but he's old. I mean, but you know, the cool thing is he can bring Lucas out with him, and Lucas can play guitar, and you know, and so it's not. I just saw Lucas play for the first time ever. I'd never seen him play, and actually, my cousins invited us out to Lukenbach to go see him play. Yeah, and it was a highlight for me of my life. Was 2016. I went and saw Neil Young with Lucas and Promise of the Real, and Merle Haggard had just passed away, and Willie came out on stage and they sang The Last Cowboy Rides Away, and I was just like,
done.
Bucket, Bucket list. I've seen Willie.
Where's the Shiner? Cart me out now.
So the funny story is my very first concert as a child, I was 6, and Willie came to Amarillo to do a concert with Mel Tillis and Glenn Campbell.
Oh, wow.
Because Mel had opened a radio station called KMML, if you know Mel's. You know about Mel Tillis. KMML is funny because he stuttered, right? So that was the name of the radio station.
That's so great.
So he did a free concert at the Cal Farley Coliseum in Amarillo, and it was Mel opened, Glenn Campbell played second, and Willie Nelson was third. And at the end, they all came out. Glenn Campbell played the bagpipes at the end. But it was just really neat to see that because my dad loved country music. I always say I was raised on both kinds of music, country and Western. And my dad was a band director, so he listened to lots of music. Like we listened to Maynard Ferguson, we listened to Blood, Sweat, and Tears, we listened to Chicago. But my dad really, really loved country music, and so growing up listening to Charlie Rich, and really honestly, I don't know if you remember, like a person. So I'll be 55 on Saturday, but there was no genre specific radio back in those days. If it was a hit, it got played, right? I mean, the charts were the charts, but if there was a good song, it got played on the radio. It wasn't like, this is country radio, this is pop radio, these are the songs. This is, I'm talking in the 70s. Now in the 80s, we start to move towards country radio, pop radio, top 40, rock, specific. All the genre specific stuff. But in the in small town Texas, we got radio. We were happy to get it. We're driving down the road and I'm hearing, hey, did you happen to see the most beautiful girl in the world? Charlie Rich was my favorite song as a kid. And so,
it gave you such a diverse
and I think,
palette.
But I think also that, like, my grandparents were, my grandmother, my dad's mother, was a really good storyteller, and she loved to tell stories about the family, and so I think that's where I probably got.
She Texan?
Oh yeah. So my family came here in a covered wagon in the 1800s. So I'm 6th generation, so my kids are 7th.
And where did they settle?
They settled in Collingsworth County. And so my grandmother's family settled in Shamrock, and my grandfather's family settled in Sam Norwood, which is a little town just outside of Wellington. And when my grandparents got married after the war, my grandmother and my grandfather lived in Wellington, Texas, which is a small town. My mother grew up in Memphis, Texas, which is 30 miles away.
Where is Memphis, Texas?
Memphis, Texas is in the Panhandle. So if you drive, do you know where Childress is?
Yes.
Okay, so Memphis is 30 miles from Childress, 30 miles northwest of Childress. Wellington is 30 miles north of Childress. So that's kind of the hub of that area right there. But my grandparents, Wellington is just a cotton place, cotton farms, and they have a big, so Memphis is the largest cotton compress in the world.
Oh, wow.
Originally they were supposed to build Texas Tech University at Memphis.
I was going to say.
And the people in Memphis said.
With all of the ag.
People in Memphis said, we don't want a college. So they ended up building in Lubbock, and the rest is history.
How far is Memphis from Lubbock?
Probably about 3-hour drive. Yeah. I mean, everything's really far away.
It is.
Like every
level land, baby.
The county. So the county seats are all 30 miles apart in the square counties up there. They try to put the county seats in the center of every county, and so they're 30 miles to each county seat. Knowing that group, I was born in Friona, which is not far from the border of New Mexico, and my dad was the band director at Bovina High School, which you can guess what the major industry in Bovina is. It's feedlots. So it stinks but it was, I remember growing up in there, and, we lived all over. We moved all over. But my dad was the first person of his family, of that 5 generations, to leave that town. My grandpa only left to go to the war. My grandmother never left. She left Shamrock and moved to Wellington.
And what was her name?
Abby Johnston.
Abby Johnston.
She was the youngest of 9 children. And
There's something about the youngest of a large family. Yeah. I think of like... who was I just thinking of the other day? And I was like, you know what? There's a common thread here with these youngest of large families. Right. Oh, who's our talk show host that just retired? American Beloved.
Oh, Stephen Colbert.
Thank you. Yeah, isn't he the youngest of like 11 kids or something in like an Irish Catholic family?
Right.
But there was somebody else I was thinking of too. It was like a very scrappy type. It's like you are at the bottom of that totem pole, and you're gonna. And my grandmother,
the thing about my grandmother though is that all of her siblings were grown, and she had nieces that are older than her. Like that's the kind of vibe that the family was. It was so spread out. My grandpa had a brother, so only 2 of them. My dad's an only child, and my mother's the oldest of 3. So, and my mother grew up in Memphis. So my mother, I don't know if this will be fun for you. No, my great grandmother, Gertrude, Fowler on my mother's side is a Wills. So I don't know if you're the Singing Wills family.
As in Bob Wills?
As in Bob Wills. So my grandmother's father, my great-grandmother's father was Bob's brother. So I'm a fourth cousin once removed or something like that. But
it's in the blood.
It's in the blood. So yeah, and so that's something, we
the water.
So, there's all of that going on. My dad was a musician. My dad, has a music degree. He passed away in 2018. But, so we've always played music. We've always sang music. My mother sang in the choir. I could pick my mother out of a 100-voice choir, her alto voice. So, it's just been something.
Do you have any recordings of her voice?
I probably do somewhere. I need to get down and take the rig and go record her singing some hymns and things like that, because just to have.
Yeah.
But I do
How wonderful would that be?
I think I do have a video of us singing together.
I would love to hear her.
She's and that's the thing, we sing together really well. And so do my daughter. My daughters have the blood harmony. Blood harmony is important. It's something that you can't make, you can't create. So, but yeah, and so that's the storytelling comes naturally. I tell those stories of my family. Some of them are probably elaborate a little bit on. We always grow the fish a little more than it is really that size. But yeah, so that's kind of
speaking of storytelling. Big Fish is one of my favorite films.
That's a good show. That's a good film.
Did you like that one?
I do, and then the musical is actually brilliant too. So.
Is it?
Yeah,
I've not seen it. Did you see it in New York?
No, I hadn't seen it in New York. I've seen high school productions of it. It's really one of those that's attainable for high school kids, because it's based, it's about youth people. It's about the youth, and so yeah.
Well, yeah, and just
the fantasy behind it, the story.
Yeah, just the art of storytelling. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit away from music and go into theater, theater specific.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all of the myriad of artists and students and colleagues that you've worked with within theater, is there a time you can recall where, I'm sure there have been countless, but one or two that really resonated with you and that you've carried with you in terms of either a student teaching you about resilience, or you finding it within yourself because of sort of that arena of your life?
So I taught at Leander High School for 3 years, and there's a student named Lindsay Jones. And Lindsay she was a stage manager for me. Brilliant kid, very smart, ended up at Pace University, but she had an episode where some kind of medication that she was taking caused her to have amnesia, and she basically lost all of her memories and things. And so gaining that back, we kind of walked, she had to go away to a place. And so, and I don't know if I'm just telling that she lost her memory. Mm-hmm. And so gaining that back, watching her gain her memory back, I remember her telling me, my mother tells me that you're somebody important to me, in the car. And so, so she ended up at Pace University. She ended up as the assistant stage manager on a production that Joel Grey did of Fiddler on the Roof that was in Yiddish.
Oh, wow.
That was it was in the Battery, and it got moved to Off-Broadway, and she did that. And then now she's doing stuff for Bo Burnham. So she's like a producer for Sony, and she's producing shows, and she's stage managing still. And so just to watch her, she sent me a text the other day with a thing, and she goes, she said, this is because of you. And I'm like, well, you're going to do this regardless of me. But the fact that, so what the deal was is that my coworker didn't like drama, and I tend to be a father figure to young women. And so I just believed in the kid. And so, I told her, I said, well, if you ever win a Tony or an Oscar, you better thank me, But that kid taught me a lot about she had to rebuild all of her memories, and it was crazy, but brilliant kid. Love her to death. Talk to her all the time.
And she's doing so well now.
She lives in between Harlem and she lives in between coasts now. She goes back and forth. And
we bring up resilience because obviously I have just a strong affinity and deep, profound respect for artists who really use their craft to help others. Yeah. And I think I feel strongly, as I think you do too, that art and resilience go hand in hand.
I had somebody ask me
many times.
I had somebody ask me one time if I was a rock star, and I said no. But I create them. I see the potential in a kid that maybe somebody else doesn't, and I'm able to pull something out of those. I really believe that's what because I don't overtake a program. Like I'm about to go take over a technical theater program, which means I don't get to judge right now, but that's okay because I really want to work with kids and I can still clinic. But
South Texas, right?
South Texas. I'm going to be in just southwest of Houston. So I guess that's South Texas. I'm going to be on the coastline. It's in Angleton, which is the county seat of Brazoria County. And so working with a friend of mine that I respect completely. She's a fantastic acting coach, fantastic director. Yale School of Drama.
So exciting! I can't wait to hear what shows y'all are.
Yeah, we're opening this season with Moon Over Buffalo, and then we're going to do two gentlemen, one governor, and then the musical this year is Grease. I'm like, I've got to build a car now. I'm like,
that's the first musical I took Harper to see ever when she was 2.
I'm like, it's not a favorite of mine, but I'll kill it. So yeah. And then it's a favorite of mine. We don't know what we're doing for One Act Play yet, and then we're doing. I think there's a student directed 6, the musical in the spring. So that's a season. But yeah, and I've got to, I manage.
Keep me posted on dates.
Oh yeah,
please.
Managing the auditorium, and I walked in, and of course it has to be completely gutted and reorganized. In my
yes, sure.
made in my image, and so. But that's cool because I can teach the kids what the proper way to do and all the things are. And so, that's basic. I mean, like, honestly, when it gets down to it, artistry, like, I'm a teacher at heart. That's what I've been a teacher. My dad was a teacher. My mom was a librarian. My grandmother was a teacher. So that's been the family calling card for forever. And I feel like teaching is an art. I feel like not everybody can do it. And I feel like some people do it differently than others. I'm more of a person that's experiential. Like, I'm going to say, here's the information that you need. Now, what are you going to do with it? What problems can you solve? And I always tell students, I'm like, if you have a better way to do this, then tell me, and let's see if we can work it out that way. But I teach on the idea of failure and mistakes are what teach you. You can make mistakes. You can't make too many of them because wood is expensive, But I just really, I love working with students, and I love watching their brains start to turn. And I don't teach in the way of like I tell people to do things. I teach in the way of I ask them questions. So I'm constantly asking, well, what if you tried this, or what if you did this, or what do you think about this, or how does this work? And so that to itself becomes the story of the student becoming the idea. And so you talk about resilience, you talk about being taught by things. Then my constant thing is I love the poet E.E. Cummings, where he says, never the more beautiful answer than he who asked the beautiful question. So that if the question's beautiful, then the answer, everybody says there's no such thing as a stupid question. Well, there's things as ugly questions, though. Yeah. And so I always think about asking beautiful questions, like what is going to inspire somebody to think about what they're doing or what they're thinking or what their goals are by asking the right questions. And so, and that's the beauty of like being an interviewer, having the right questions and asking people the things that will prompt them to say, oh, well, this is where my brain goes in that situation. So, yeah.
I could ask you questions all day and listen. Learn so much every time we're together. So, I'm going to bring this back home just a little bit because we want to have enough time to hear you sing one more.
Sure. Yeah.
When you really delve into your own creative journey and your own walk as a born and raised Texan, what does the old adage true blue Texan mean to you? We hear that so commonly, kind of like in branding and this and that. But for you, what does that mean? Given that this is Radio Salado, Texas, we're right in the heart of Texas.
I think it's being honest with the warts that Texas has, but still understanding the greatness and the potential that the state has. Like, I'm not giving up. Like, I could have left a long time ago, but it's my state. Why should I let people who aren't from here, who have bogarted the legislature and done things that are not Texan to people who are? Like when I look at people who are native Texans, by far they want the state to care for other people. We're the friendship state, right? We're supposed to have friends. And when I see these people that are ugly and vindictive and they're only about making money and they're only about power, that's not Texan to me. That's not true blue. In fact, the guys that are running the state, 2 of the guys that are running the state aren't even from here. They weren't born here.
What does it mean to be true blue Texan?
I think it means to be born here. I think you need to be born in Texas. Molly Ivins was a true blue Texan, right? And Richards was a true blue Texan.
Amen.
You know, Mala Ferguson was a true blue Texan. You know,
I can't argue with those three.
So
points.
I'm like, but like the women of Texas are maligned, and I see so much strength in like these women that I mean, my mother is a native Texan. Like, I watch all of this and say, where is the line of people that will eventually stand up and say, hey, you know, have you read the Constitution? Have you looked at the first section 1, Article 6, which calls for freedom of religion when you're cramming it down our throats? Have you read Article 7, Section 1, which talks about a free education for every child, a free and quality education for every child?
So speaking of education,
right,
and arts education, since that's your specific genre of art, and I don't want to pigeonhole you at all because you are an artist, all caps, every sense of the word, from my seat. How do you think a true blue Texan devotes whatever their heart's mission is through the arts in that true blue Texan sort of vein and trajectory? Right. I think you have to call out what's wrong with Texas, and that's why I'm writing protest songs right now. I think also we need to re-examine why Texas exists and what the purposes behind it were. You know, there are some great things that the founders did, and then there are some things that are not pretty. You know, I mean, you look at, you know, the reason that we rebelled against Mexico was so that people could keep their slaves. Well, that's not very Texan to me. You know, the treatment of indigenous people, the treatment of Hispanic people who are already here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that are warts, but I can't look at the warts and not see the good that's come out of it as well. Like we have to see both sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. Nothing is binary to me. It's not either good or it's bad. Like people say, well, that's bad, we shouldn't talk about that. I'm like, no, we should talk about those things that are bad because it makes the things that are glorious so much better, right? Mm-hmm. So like all of the amazing art that's come out of Texas, all the amazing, like we were talking about Tommy Tune earlier. Mm-hmm. What a brilliant Texan. And Gracie Tune, his sister, who's a beloved friend out of Fort Worth. And like, and also like Betty Buckley. Mm-hmm. You know, like all these Broadway people, these people that have been staples in New York of the theater scene, came from Texas. Speaking of Tommy Tune, let me just say this since you just brought him up, native Texan. His sister, Gracie Tune, who is a dear friend of ours through Saladoan, or former Saladoan, who'll always be a Saladoan to me, Granger Ash, who used to have the theater just near here where we are. Gracie Tune has been cultivating a beautiful exhibit in honor of her brother's devotion to the arts, and it'll be in Houston, I think at the University of Houston. Oh, cool. Gracie, get on here and correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe it's at the University of Houston, and I just, you know, she said, she's so precious, she said, I kept a lot of things, and let me tell you, when I had my intern come and help me and she pulled out Tommy's baby teeth, she knew we were in for it. Yeah. I said, you have Tommy's baby teeth? She said, oh, I have everything. That's crazy. I know. And she's such a devoted sister, too. She flies from New York to Fort Worth all the time to spend time with him as he's getting a little older. Yeah. Is he living in Fort Worth now? He's in New York. Oh, he's in New York. Yes. Okay, one more question for you, and then I would like to hear one more song before we wrap it up. What's your, I know you don't live in Salado, but I've drug you here a few times. Sure. We've gotten to have dinner there at In on the Creek. And you know, sunset on Salado Creek is really, sunrise and sunset on Salado Creek are my favorite memories, hands down. Is there a favorite Salado Creek or Texas River memory or tale that you might want to share with us? I'm a big fan of Texas creeks and rivers. Sure. We all are here. You know, I mean, I think mine would have to be floating the Frio, you know, as a younger man, taking my kids and putting my younger daughter my oldest daughter who's now 29 in a life jacket and a rubber raft, and I'm floating down the river, you know, and just putting in it at, you know, Alta Frio and floating all the way down to Garner State Park, and just the times that I've been down there. I mean, I used to go to Lakey all the time. It was our place, and we went to church camp there, you know, and so that river is, it's really kind of a spiritual place. It so is. Yeah. And it's only about 20 minutes from the little ranch where I grew up. Yeah. I mean, when you drop off that Edwards Plateau and you, oh my gosh, it's like another world, a vortex. I used to love
the look off over HEB Foundation Camp. You can look down there and see the river. And
the air changes.
Right. And so I don't know if you know, if you go back further into HEB Foundation Camp, there's a Boy Scout. There's a Scout camp back there. And there's a blue hole. And the headwaters of the Frio are on a ranch.
I know it's there, but I've not seen it firsthand.
So the headwaters of the ranch are on a ranch. There's a fence, and the headwaters you can see start to flow in, and that's where so it's all spring fed, right?
Yeah.
There's springs everywhere in that.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, no, I just always thought the Frio was, and I'm sure that the Native Americans, healing.
Well, someday we're going to go to a rather new event called Songs on the Frio. It happens every November.
We've been to Springs.
There.
We had me out to Springs sometimes. So that was fun.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Yeah. It really is.
Cool.
Well, would you do us the honor and maybe play one more song?
I'm gonna. This one has not been. I'm gonna try this one. We'll see. We'll see if it goes.
We'll take it.
Yeah. See if I can.
And before we fully wrap up here, if people want to find your music or your art online, is there a way to find you?
There's really. Days? I mean, I have a YouTube channel.
You're on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram. It's Chuckazulu, ChuckAzooloo, and that's also my channel on
YouTube.
On YouTube. I mean, most of what I put on YouTube is covers, because I don't know. My original music has not really been ever something I've really. I don't know.
That Schreiner song is something.
Most of the original music I've written was for the church, and now that I look back on it, I'm pretty cringed by it because I used to be an evangelical, and now I'm not, and so that kind of thing has left the station, in my opinion. But we'll see here. Let's try this. Okay, let's see. Towhead riding around an Amarillo block. Banana seat bicycle didn't need a lock. Drinking out the hose, cut-offs for clothes, running round till the street lights shone. Man, I miss that bowl cut, that straight black blonde. Now people always ask me what color it was. My answer is, it was blonde, then it turned brown, then it turned gray, then it turned loose. Had some hair down to there, didn't use no mousse. Well, it was blonde, then it turned brown, then it turned gray, then it turned loose. Only a few perfect heads out there, the rest are covered with hair. It was thick as a rope, it was straight as a board, it was a wonder to see. You could hold me upside down, my blonde locks would fall back in place. My mom cut me some serious bangs, she said she didn't like it in my face. Well, it was blonde, then it turned brown, then it turned gray, then it turned loose. Had some hair down to there, didn't use no mousse. Well, it was blonde, then it turned brown, then it turned gray, then it turned loose. Only a few perfect heads out there, the rest are covered with hair. This old bald head got wisdom from a whole lot of turns. First it grayed with lessons, then it left what it learned. Well, it was blonde, then it turned brown, then it turned gray, then it turned loose. I had some hair way down to there, I didn't use no mousse. Oh, it was blonde, then it turned brown, then it turned gray, then it turned loose. Only a few perfect heads out there, the rest are covered with hair.
Aha! I love it.
That's pretty rough. It's not finished yet, but it's still working.
Yours turned loose in a certain direction.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Mine turned loose in another direction.
Right. No, mine turned loose, like it's gone.
Mine's just wild and loose at this point.
No,
well, I was telling my kids the other day, because my hair color changed when I was pregnant with Harper. It started turning strawberry blonde.
Right.
And she has strawberry blonde hair.
There you go.
And they said, well, did it change with me? You know, my son who's very blonde. I said, yes, it got more blonde. And then my other one, you know, he's got kind of like a copper hair. And I said, yep, change. And the youngest one turned and he said, Mama, you're like a calico. I said, but I'm not losing it yet.
No, that's good. That's good. Don't lose it. No, it's funny.
That's great, though. I love it.
Because I was sitting there, we were talking, this another song from the Cheatham Street. There was a girl, and we were talking, and she said, well, what color was your hair? And I said, well, it was blonde, then it turned brown, then it turned gray, then it turned loose. She goes, that's a song. And I'm like, you're right.
It is a song.
So, working on a song.
So is Panhandle People.
Right.
So is Floating the Frio.
That song's actually called, the Panhandle People song is called Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Because
I want to hear that one. Please send it to me.
Yeah, I will. It's a song about, like, how I don't have any roots. I've rolled around my whole life. In fact, Austin is the longest I've ever lived anywhere in my life.
You have Texas roots, my friend.
Well, yeah, but like I've never lived in a town. Like people have hometowns. I consider Sonora my hometown, but I only lived there for 3 years. You know, it's because I graduated from there, and my friends. I still talk to my 2 best friends from high school.
Yeah, but think about what a array of culture you.
No, I've lived in every major city in Texas except for San Antonio. And El Paso. I've lived in Amarillo, Lubbock, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, Corpus. My mom lives in Corpus now. I've lived in East Texas twice. I've lived in West Texas most of my life. I've lived in Central Texas. I've lived in the Panhandle. I've lived in South Texas. You know, so
Tumbleweed's pretty appropriate.
Yeah. A lot of people. The funny thing is, some people in the Texas have never seen a tumbleweed.
Oh,
and
I have.
So the funniest thing was I was trying to figure out what to title my recital. And I was up in Lubbock at judging a one-night play contest, and I'm pulling out of I had to be back for class, and I'm pulling out of the hotel at 5 a.m. in the morning. This past spring. And there's a tumbleweed rolling across the street. And I stopped and took a picture of it, and that was the cover for my recital. So
I love that.
my recital is called Travels of a Tumbleweed, which is basically,
was that recorded?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Awesome.
It's on Texas State Presents Channel 3. If you want to go see it, it's me. I sing two songs. I perform a song with the lap steel and a computer. I have a trombone piece. There's a percussion piece. There's a couple of films that I made with music. So yeah.
This may sound a little ironic, maybe, but I feel like you're just getting started.
You know,
in some ways,
some people get started later in life, and
well, I mean, in terms of you really getting in your groove. I mean, you've always been an artist and so creative, and I think you could have gone so many directions, but I feel you really rising into this really sweet era.
So I'm actually working on a piece for one of the dance professors at Texas State right now. He wants me to work on another piece that's like really kind of a violent piece for next fall. It's about blood, and so we're gonna play with that some. And then my middle son. Oh, it's gonna be really cool because they're using cameras and things. Jonathan is insanely talented. Jonathan Padawal, he's really gifted choreographer and teacher.
I need to get down there and see some of their
productions.
And
I would highly recommend their dance stuff. And then I've done a couple of film scores, so I'm really interested in that kind of stuff, moving that way. But I'm really the music that I'm making right now is more soundscapey than it is songwriting. A lot of soundscapes, a lot of sounds, a lot of like found sounds where I'm doing things where I'm taking like the crosswalk sounds from the crosswalk at LBJ and Sesame and turning it into music, you know. And so
that's how Phineas and Billy do their bits.
I know that's exactly that's Billie the hi-hat sound from that's where I got the idea. The hi-hat sound from Bad Guy. Yeah.
I'm proud of myself right now that I could go there with you.
Well, because you watch Stephen Colbert and he talks about that's when Phineas talks about.
I didn't see it on Stephen Colbert actually. Yeah. I've gone down the Phineas Billie Eilish really because I love their music, but my daughter and my youngest son are huge Billie Eilish fans. Which when your children love something and you want to sit, my yoga teacher forever ago, she said to me, Tiffany, if you truly want to love something, you have to sit near to it and study it.
Yep.
And so that's what I do with my kids as much as I can, as much as life allows. We don't have much more time left today, but we love having you.
Oh, I love being here.
And is there anything else you want to say to the listeners out there? Given you're
just
here
like,
for our inaugural
launch? I wrote down something that it's kind of my mantra for right now. I don't know. I think you might have shared this with me on something.
Well, that's going to make me feel good.
Yeah.
Something stuck out in the universe.
I always love the things, but my current life goals are to feel alive, to love and be loved, to do a lot of good, to try and fail often, and to create. And I think so many people...
Say that one more time, please, for the listeners.
I want to feel alive. Mm-hmm. And I recently went through a huge life change in the last fall. Mm-hmm. And I feel more alive than I've ever felt in my life. And I think that's probably what you're seeing.
It's palpable.
And to love and be loved. I love a lot of people in my life. I want to be loved for who I am, not for who other people think that I am or who they want me to be, which is why another reason I'm leaving this job to go do something new. It's a new time. Mm-hmm. And I want to do a lot of good. I think people aren't kind. They're not empathetic. They're not empathic or empathetic. I have a shirt that says I commit sins of empathy. Mm-hmm. And so just doing good and making sure that people are treated well. Everybody that comes in contact, I'd say I like to bring joy and chaos everywhere I go. And then try and fail. I've always been so afraid of failing. As a kid, I was so afraid. I was such a perfectionist. And it says often. So try and fail often. Don't just try and fail occasionally and then get scared of it. Because in my current job, I can't fail. I can't be a failure. I have to be on all the time. So I'm excited about going to where I'm like, oh, I'm going to build something. Hey, that didn't work. Let's try something else, kids. Mm-hmm. And then to create. And that means creating everything, not just music, not just paintings, not just designs of theater, just being creative in my everyday life and creating relationships and creating food and just having that mindset of being a creator. It's been so, yeah. I remember I saw that and I'm like, those are my life goals. Those are, I sent that to everybody that I know. So
we at Radio Salado are so lucky to have you here. We hope to have you back again.
I hope to be back. I
want to say happy trails, but happy trails back to us too.
I'm not going to be a stranger to the Austin area. I have both of my daughters live here. Mm-hmm. My son's going to live in San Marcos. I have relationships in town, so I'm going to be back a lot. So yeah.
Hopefully we can meet up in Austin Theater again too.
And also, I love Salado. I mean, I stayed here when I judged a contest in Gerald, and I stayed here for the weekend. So my friend and I stayed here, and we had a great time. And so I love the stores here, love the food. The food
Did y'all
here.
spend some? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the food here is top notch. By the way, people, if you haven't come to Salado and eaten the food in Salado, you need to come to Salado and eat the food. And also, if you're a vinyl collector, you need to go to Sophie's. Because her pop-up record shop is legit.
It really is.
I spend way too much money every time I go there. I'm probably going to stop by on my way out of town. And I can't. I've given myself a budget, so I can't spend too much. But
where's your favorite place to eat in Salado?
Oh man, there's a breakfast place back up the road here.
McCain's.
Yeah.
You like McCain's breakfast?
Oh man, their eggs Benedict is serious.
Yeah.
And their pancakes.
They came under new ownership a few years ago, and they've knocked it out of the
park.
Well,
and that and also like I had burgers at the place back up here off of
the Shed, maybe.
No, I've had the Shed. The Shed's good. I'm trying to think of other places I've eaten. I've eaten everywhere around here. I think. Of course, the
Stagecoach.
The Stagecoach is great. The place
Inn on the Creek, Alexander's.
Yep. Alexander's is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Drinks there are insane.
They really
Cocktails so good.
Yeah.
But there's a burger place just like off in those little wooden It's like a back. It's a bar.
Mm-hmm. Uncle David's maybe.
Uncle David's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
They had a burger with a fried egg on it. Oh man, you
made you happy.
Like a good burger.
Maybe write a song about it.
Oh man, maybe so. And I love going to Chupacabra and having a beer. It's just a cool town.
And we've got Barrow right on the spring.
It's such a cool vibe. Mm-hmm. Like even if, just come here. Come rent you an Airbnb, stay the weekend, go to the shops.
Fall in love with Salado. Come on, Radio Salado.
Come on, Radio Salado, and then donate to take care of the creek and the springs, and just really it's such a cool curated place, and the people who live here love it, and I hope that the people who are in charge of it understand that and will continue to curate the city the way it should be city.
Well, as I've been saying, and we've been saying for quite some time now here, it truly takes a village.
It does.
Locally, statewide, and beyond.
Absolutely.
We're all one in it
Yep.
together. Well,
Yep.
thank you so much for being here today.
I'm so glad to be here.
And tell the folks one more time how they find you on YouTube, please.
You can find me on YouTube at Chuckazulu. It's ChuckAzooloo. It's mostly cover songs. Occasionally I'll put, I think the Greg Abbott song is on there. It's a fun song. And then on Instagram, same thing, at Chuckazulu, which is a joke from a speech tournament in high school. So.
Ooh, I want to hear that one too.
Yeah.
Okay, and
someday.
Tumbleweed.
No, Tumbleweed, yeah.
Is it on there yet?
It's not, but it will be. Actually, it's on the recital.
Okay.
But it's not completed because I had them give me like suggestions.
So what I'm hearing is we need an actual recording of
Yes,
Tumbleweed.
we need an actual recording of Tumbleweed.
Okay, okay. Well, thanks so much. Happy trails. Come back and see us soon.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
All right.